What's up, Guardians? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over the TWAB this week at Bungie. We've got some juicy information for you just ahead. So this week's in Bungie, we have, did you watch our streams on Tuesday? New episode means new artifacts, sneak peek of exotic armor changes, weapon tuning, and new weapon mods. That's juicy. New preview of weapon rewards, as well as new Iron Banner armor and weapons rewards. Fixing some legendary ornaments, and we also have a new reprise strike coming, our first Discord quest, and Hurricane support. Everyone who was impacted by the hurricane, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. If I can come down there and help you guys out, I would, but the National Guard is turning people away. Anyways, guys, it's not the National Guard, it's FEMA and Red Cross and all them pieces of shit. Anyways, guys, let's get right into the video. Alright, so, as we were just talking about, we have the new artifact. Here is the preview and exactly what we're going to get. In column 1, we have anti-barrier scout rifle. Everyone knows what that means. We're going to have anti-barrier champion scout rifle. So column 2, first perk is one with frost. Well, frost armor is active. Stasis weapons gain increased reload speed and stability. Stasis swords increase guard resistance. Column 3, row 1, wind chill. Rapid stasis weapon precision hits grant you a stack of frost armor. Rapid precision hits from weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait grant you more frost armor stacks of that. And then boost. Dealing stasis weapon damage to slow targets has a chance to spawn a stasis shard. Then we have, in column 4, Armor of Armis. While frost armor is active, taking critical damage from combatants causes you to emit a freezing blast. Boost. Increase radius and strength of freezing burst. And then column 5 in row 1, we have brain freeze. Freeze combatants become surrounded by chill fog, which with slow combatants that are, let's redo that. Frozen combatants become surrounded by chilling fog, which slows combatants that aren't already. And then weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait, what a tongue twister that is, deal more damage to frozen combatants. So then, number 2. So, next, we have Overload Some Machine Guns. Overload Some Machine Guns is very nice. Don't know how this is going to change the meta when it comes to Grandmasters, but I'm excited for that, actually. So in column 2, row 2, we have Killing Breeze. Rapid weapon final blows grant you a bonus mobility. Final weapon blows with Dark Ether Reaper origin trait counts more than 1. The next row, we have Crystalline Converter. A stasis shard, or gather stasis shards to gain stacks of Crystalline Converter. Your next powered stasis melee hit creates stasis crystals equal to the number of stacks you have. And then we have a boost. Stasis final weapon blows after activating your class ability will spawn a stasis shard. Then we have crystallized auto-loading, shattering stasis crystals releases shatters of ice that damage and slow targets. Boost, shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals deal increased damage. And then in the final row we have Supernova. Picking up a void breach causes your next void source of damage to create a large weakening pulse. Judging by the row 2 and the first 2 that we just read, this is going to be heavy stasis this season, mixed with definitely some hints of void there. And I want to say there's some solar stuff too within this as well. But let's get to the next set of stuff. Alright, in the next column we have Unstoppable Pulse Rifles. Aiming down the sights For a short time, loads an explosive payload. We all know how that works. If not, that's how that works if you guys are new here. Next, we have Enhanced Ether Generator. Dark Ether Reaper Origin trait has a chance to spawn an extra Dark Ether charge. Weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper Origin trait are overcharged when the modifier is active. Next, we have Total Carnage. After finishing a powerful combatant, gain temporary damage resistance. Well, you have 2 or more Shade Stalker armor pieces equipped. That must be what the new seasonal armor is called. After finishing a powerful combatant, gain increased temporary damage resistance and replenish health. Debilitating Wave. Finishers emit a damaging wave that matches the element of your current super. Boost. Well, you have an Arc or Void or Stasis super equipped. The boost also applies Blind, Weaken, and Slow, respectively. That's big. That is very big. That means there's going to be a lot of finishers going on this season. This is going to be a fantastic season. I can already feel it. Conductive Cosmic Crystal. What a fucking tongue twister that is. Your Arc abilities, Void abilities, and weapons with Dark Ether Reaper Origin trait do bonus damage to targets that are affected by a stasis debuff. Boost. Increase bonus damage to combatants affected by a stasis debuff. That's interesting. Can't wait to see that in play. Here's where things get a little bit crazy. So next we have Anti-Barrier Shotgun. Shotguns you are wielding are able to pierce through anti-barrier champion shields, etc. Then we have Fell the Revenant. Deal increased weapon damage to Scorch. Wearing Shade Stalker armor increases the bonus damage. Well, I'm about to re-roll my whole fucking armor set then. Not really. Most of it's Artifice, but if we'll see what happens. Because a lot of the stuff that I have that's going on is Artifice and the new exotic ornament, so exotic cloak. So then we have Power from the Pain. Rapid final blows against weakened combatants grants you Devour. Oh my god, that's ridiculous right there. Rapidly defeating weakened combatants spawn a Void Breach. Oh shit, dude, this is gonna be fucking great. Consecutive reloading. Using a grenade launcher to damage a boss, damage a champion, or break a combatant shield weakens them. So what you're saying is if I am using a grenade launcher, I damage a boss or a champion or break a combatant shield with it, it gives them weakened, but then final weapon blows against weakened combatants grant me Devour. Dude, you'll never fucking die. Oh shit. And then we also have a boost using grenade launchers to damage bosses, champions, or to break combatant shields, automatic reloads, stowed weapons. Oh my fucking god, that just turned everything into auto-loading holster right there. I'll be getting that perk. And then Serve Cold. Picking up a stasis shard grants you class ability energy. Picking up a Void Breach grants you melee energy. Whew, baby, this is already looking and sounding good. But if it walks like a duck and acts like a duck, chances are it's a duck. So, So after that, we have Overload Breach Grenade Launchers. Damage combatants with primary or special ammo. Grenade Launcher disrupts combatants, stunning them. Dude, I can already tell you. So, later on in this TWAB, we're going to have the Fighting Lion, which makes enemies volatile. That's an exotic. You'll have to give an exotic slot for that. But if I have Overload Grenade Launcher that gives me volatile rounds when hitting them, on top of all this, oh my god. So next we have Rapid Impact. Dealing damage with a grenade launcher temporarily increases the reload speed of grenade launcher. It's pretty juicy right there, actually. Trace Evidence. Rapid precision hits or final blows on target affected by Jolt or Blind will generate ionic traces. Dude, I'll get an ionic trace and I'm not even a warlock. Wow. Boost. Picking up ionic trace grants armor charge. What the fuck even is this, Bungie? This shit is great. Oh my god, I'm so happy right now. You guys have no idea. Returnal burn. Returnal or retinal? This is retinal burn. Rapid arc weapon. Precision hits consume an armor charge to blind the target. Boost. Blinding a target this way instead of emitting a blinding burst. Yep. So it's basically, it's exactly what that is. Retinal burn, you're blinding them. And then we have in the final one, kinetic impact. Sustain damage with a power grenade launcher. Causes the combatant to emit a shockwave that damages nearby combatants. This shockwave can stun unstoppable champions. Dude, are you guys at Bungie alright? You guys have given us one of the worst seasons. Just it always happens. The season that always comes out after a DLC is always the fucking worst. And then the second one sets it up to be this great thing. And then we get like a mid-card season at the end. Episode, whatever the fuck they're going to call it nowadays. But, dude, that is fucking amazing. Okay, because that is kinetic tremors. Any grenade launcher that has power has fucking kinetic tremors now. Whew, man, this is going to be a good season. Alright, let's continue on the So next we have armor tuning. First up is the Lucky Pants. There's a lot to take in here, guys, so give me just a second to go over it all, and we'll get right into it. So, Lucky Pants. Lucky Pants has long been one of the more complicated exotic armor pieces, and limitations were necessary because the maximum strength of its perk. Unfortunately, the high-end strength of Lucky Pants was causing consistent constraints in terms of PvE balancing. So we decided to kill 2 hive moths with 1 shot and reduce the complexity while bringing down the maximum potency. To offset this, we're adding some new benefits to the exotic, which will be especially nicer for our movement-focused hand cannon users who enjoy stompies, but wish they also had improved airborne effectiveness. So, now provides movement bonus, including increased slide distance, sprint speed when the hand cannon is equipped. That's big. We also have airborne effectiveness bonus whenever a hand cannon is equipped. So, whenever a hand... You mean whenever? That's a typo, Bungie. Not just when the illegal modified holster buff is active, so you're going to get that the whole time, even when the buff is not active. No longer require hand cannon to be matched to super to get the buff for PvE damage. Out of luck cooldown will only trigger if you reach 7 stacks of PvE damage buff before swapping of off the weapon or time expires. Maximum damage has been decreased from 600 to 450. I mean, that's not that big of a nerf, realistically. It's more of a buff. So 600... They didn't even do a 200... It's like, what, 100 buff minus? Like 275, something like that, 175. Not that big. Next, we have the Ahamkaram Spines. We wanted to take another swing at these to better preserve their previous PvE gameplay while keeping a handle on their effectiveness in PvP. Of course, because you guys, nerfed them into the dirt and then gave us shit-ass PvP for shit-ass PvP. So anyways, now provides, once again, provides trip mine grenades, energy on ability, hits instead of final blows, provides 33% grenade energy in PvE and 8% in PvP. Moving on to the Blight Ranger. Blight Ranger is rooted in boosting Arc Staff Reflection, but it's primarily seen used for some niche tactics that leverage its out-of-band orb of power generation to make it more viable in the bordered game without deviating from its fantasy. We've Replace the behavior with elements of Raja's Harness. Added the ability to cancel your super while equipped, damaging and blinding nearby enemies, and granting a tier 4 arc weapon boost. Shit, dude, that's pretty ridiculous, too. Damage dealt by the effect scales based on number of projectiles reflected prior to canceling. No longer creates orbs of power when reflecting projectiles with arc staff. Reflecting projectiles now instead directly refunds supers energy, extending the duration of your super. So then we're going to move on to Raja's Harness. Alright, so with the harness, what they did was they've completely reworked it. Fully reworked behavior of exotic trait Morbius Conduit inspired by its lore tab. Activating Gathering Storm calls down lightning on nearby targets, jolting them, while also amplifying allies. Defeating arc debuff targets grants a small amount of Gathering Storm energy. That's pretty fucking big. That's pretty big. And then the relativism. Prismatic hunters have access to lots of stacking melee damage bonuses, which all compound with each other, leading to some out-of-band melee damage. Spirit of Synthesis provides a lower bonus if you also have combination blow active. In Revenant, it will provide the same lower bonus when the Stylish Executioner buff is active. Spirit of Synthesis reduce the melee damage bonus provided when Bionic Enhancement and Stylish Executioner are active by 50%. That's a major fucking nerf. Next, we're going to move on to the Titans. So, Titans. Icefall, Mantle. I'm not going to read all of that. You now gain a stack of Frost Armor for rapid stasis final blows. Each time you gain a stack of Frost Armor from any source, you will heal from a small portion. The unique class ability grants Icefall Mantle now provides maximum stack Frost Armor instead of a custom Overshield. You will also immediately heal from each stack that is added, no longer prevent sprinting or jump abilities, and it is now works thrusters when equipped. It now works when thrusters is equipped. What the hell does that even mean? I don't know. I'm going to go look at the game and figure the fuck out. Class ability energy now begins recharging immediately after using Icefall Mantle class ability. The burst of stasis energy from class ability now freezes combatants and slows players. No longer provides bonus stasis weapon damage. Now requires stasis super to be equipped to benefit from its exotic effects. Next is the Cadmus Ridge Landscap. I think that's how you pronounce it. Alright, so then after that we have the Ursa Ferosa and Spirit of the Bear. Increase maximum super energy gain from Unbreakable and PvE from 15 to 20%. Fix an issue where you were gaining more super energy from Unbreakable in PvP than intended. Now provides a maximum of 10%. After that we have Caress of the Falling Star. Melee final blows well amplified now grants super energy. Reduced damage bonus from Caress's Thunder Crash from 2 times to 1.55 times. This keeps overall damage similar to what was previous. Replacing the Void Overshield after... Or not Void Overshield. Replacing the Overshield after impact with damage resistance. Replace the Overshield after impact with damage resistance. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a 50% down, 50% in PvE and 10% in PvP. So then after that we have Peacekeepers, and we will get into the Peacekeepers. Alright, so Peacekeepers. What did they do to Peacekeepers? Let's take a look, huh? Dealing damage to combatants with SMG increases SMG damage for a short time. Maximum 20 stacks, 100% damage bonus. Lasts for 1 second. Each hit adds stack, refreshes timer. Then we have Mask of the Quiet One, which that rapid blows and final blows. Well, at critical health will now grant Devour. Oh my god, really? That's kind of OP. This effect requires a Void Super to be equipped. And then finally we have the Exotic Mark. Spirit of Horn, activating thruster leaves a ball of solar energy behind, exploding and applying scorch to enemies caught in the blast. Spirit of Alpha Loopy, activating thrusters, heals you and nearby allies. And then Spirit of Hoarfrost, activating thrusters, spawns a stasis crystal. Let's move into the... So the Warlock, they've adjusted the Heart of the Ice perk to increase shatter damage to targets frozen by shade binders, super projectiles by 100% regardless of whom breaks it. Added gathering frost armor to allies with Frost Pulse or Wither's Wraith grants super energy range in potency based on how many allies it is granted to. Then they adjusted Skull of Amkara. Added weapons defeats Whale Devour's active grants super energy. Ranges from 1% to 4.5% depending on type defeated. And then we have the Sanguine Alchemy. Now marks targets you damage while standing in Rift. You deal 10% extra damage from any source against marked targets. Now provides Surge ×4 weapons that match Surge damage or super damage. So either what that means is basically you don't have to run 3,000 different weapon surges. You just run that, and then if it matches your super damage, you get the ×4 weapon. All right. Moving on, we have the Xenotap mask. We've heard your feedback that hiding the target marker from the player wearing it was confusing, so they reverted that change. Damaging a vehicle, boss, or champion with Trace Rifle once again visually marks the target for players using Xenotap. Osmios Mancies reduced the increased seeker distance and speed by 50%, and then Speaker Sight, 6 instances of healing a damaged ally in the Crucible will spawn orbs of power. Next, we're going to get to exotic super damage exotic tuning, so stay tuned. Alright, so super damage exotic tuning. Cuirasses of the Falling Star plus Thunder Crash, unchanged. Pyrogale Gauntlets and Burning Maul, changed, 10% buff on that. Spirit of Star Eater plus Nova Bomb, 12% down. Spirit of Star Eater plus Arsenal Twilight, 26% down. Spirit of Star Eater plus Needle Storm, unchanged. Spirit of Star Eater plus Storm Edge, unchanged. And then Celestial Nighthawk plus Golden Gun versus bosses is 5% down. I mean, you guys just love to fucking nerf that shit, don't you? We feel this order reflects advantages and disadvantages inherent in each super, with those that are quicker and easier to output less damage than those that are more of their use. The range and damage is such that in Revenant, Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun will still deal around 70% of the damage of Cuirass's Thunder Crash. Why are we... Okay, Bungie. The Hunters really only have Golden Gun for damage, for super. Like, if you break down the other, supers that the hunter has, you don't see anyone using Spectral Blade for damage. You don't see anyone using fucking Tether for damage. You don't see anyone using Blade Barrage for damage, which you nerfed into the dirt way back when it first came out. Keep that in mind. Let's see here. Arc Staff. No one uses that motherfucker for damage, I'll tell you that right now. And the Storm's Edge, no one uses that. The only thing that the hunter has when it comes to a decent damage super is Golden Gun, and you want to put it on par with something that a Titan has. Why are we trying to make it on par with something a Titan has when they have access to Burning Maul, Hammers of Soul, Thunder Crash? Let's see here. They have Captain America. They have Twilight Arsenal. And what's the hunter got? Golden Gun for damage. That's about it. Like, no one's like, oh yeah, use fucking Storm Edge to fucking do that. No one's saying that in any of this shit. Like, it's so bad. I mean, even the goddamn Strand Super is not even that powerful for the hunter when it comes to damage. I don't see why you guys are making the changes to Celestial. You already nerfed it enough. If anything, you should, make it to where it outshines some of the other stuff that the other classes can do, because the hunter's kind of useless in, DPS phases with super. Just tit for tat, unless you're a fucking Tether fiend. They also nerfed Thunder Crash down from a 2 times multiplier. I already went over this. Why is this repeating? So then we have the Spirit of Star Eater. Reduce the benefits granted Nova Bomb from 70% to 50. Reduce benefits granted Thunder Crash from 70 to 50. When paired with Thunder Crash, base damage net out as 15% increased damage compared with live. Reduce the benefits granted with Twilight Arsenal from 70 to 25. That's terrible. Celestial Nighthawk. Reduce damage versus bosses by 5%. I mean, it's a 5% damage decrease. It's not big, but, like, you guys need to stop with this fucking whole... Let's nerf the hunter because everyone else is fucking crying. Wah, wah, wah. And then they increase the clone's damage for Pyrogales as well. So then the next thing that is going to be talked about is weapon tuning and new mods for Revenant. So archetypes, we have auto rifles, blah, 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 blah. Increased auto rifles, scout rifles, pulse rifles, submachine guns, sidearms, hand cannons. Rebalance for how PvE damage is dealt to prioritize critical hits. Increase critical hit between 5 to 7% depending on frame. Decrease body shot by 5 to 7%. Heavy pulse rifles. Heavy pulse rifle bursts. I went over this in the last one. It increased from 300 to 324. Decreased damage in PvE by 18% for legendary weapons in subfamily. Graviton Lance in Revision 0 mode. Burst mode reduced by 8%. That's going to be noticeable. Sniper rifles. Reduce flinch against combatants by 50. Reduce camera roll against players by 10. Increase damage against minors, majors, and mini bosses and champions in from what I just said. Minors 60%, majors 75, mini bosses 35, and champions 25. Which means snipers just got a huge fucking buff, and they're not even in the artifact. Whoopie fucking doodah. Glaives. Corrected an issue where perks that changed the magazine size could sometimes display incorrect preview values. Shotguns have struggled to find their identity in PvE. So they did some reworks on it. Shotguns minimum damage after fall off has been increased from 0 to 40% damage versus AI only. What the fuck does that even mean? Rocket assisted sidearms are the king of the mountain PvE right now. And they nerfed the ammo reserve in that by 25%. I will never understand your guys' thought process on these nerfs, guys. Seriously? 25%? 25%. So if my ammo reserve is 50. That means my ammo reserve is going to be 12.5. Like, that's so bad. That's so fucking bad. You guys gave us these great fucking weapons, and because they are the king in the game, you're like, oh, we gotta nerf them. What is the reserve on the call? Magazine's 50. Let's see what Light.gg says. I think the ammo reserve is like 49 or 35 or something like that. Like that's a major nerf for absolutely no fucking reason. Trace rifles can be strong in the right hands in Crucible, so they increase base spawn crates in PvE for ammo and that. For just trace rifles from 25 to 29. Machine guns got an increase in PvE for crit hit by 4%. We went over this last week. This is just shit that you guys re-put. Why are you putting it back in here? A lot of PvP shit. I'm not going to go over any of the PvP stuff. We're going to go over what the weapons look like, and then we are going to go over the Iron Banner stuff. There's also what they look like plus the perks. So let's go look at that. Just realized I skipped something. Exotic weapons reduce base reserves from 250 to 200. This is Choir of 1. We covered this last week. Reduce max reserves from 384 to 300. Reduce the impact damage at point blank by 50%. Increase hip fire projectile damage against players by 10. Now start with 7 ammo in Crucible and gain from chest and ammo bricks. Huckleberry. Now fully reloads on kills. Replaced Catalyst with kinetic tremors. Ooh, baby, that might be good. TWAB. When Renumerous Beast is active, gain damage resistance against incoming solar damage combatants by 50%. 50% versus combatants, 15% by players. Symmetry. Does anyone even use this thing anymore? Now gain a stack of dynamic charge on kills in addition to precision hits. Duality. Popular for PvP, not so popular in PvE. Duality back on Blackwing stacks for a maximum effect reduced from 5 to 3 extended duration buff from 7 seconds to 10 seconds. Bad Juju, no one ever uses this anymore anyways. Increase lifetime of string from curses from 3.5 to 5.7. 7.5 with the Catalyst. Increase magazine size from 27 to 37. This weapon also appears to have become more haunted than it used to be. More haunted than it used to be? What does that even mean? Axteris. Increased direct hits versus combatants by 33%. Adjusted recoil projections to have much flatter trajectory. By doing the following. Reduce camera roll from firing by 50%. Increase projectile velocity. Reduce projectile gravity. 5% in ammo reserves, or plus 5 in ammo reserves. Now spawns a moth on 2 direct hits. Reduce moth cooldown from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Shared with the killing trigger. Fighting Lion now spawns a volatile burst on direct hits. Prospector now spawns 3 powerful cluster bombs on detonation, dealing substantially more damage per shot over a larger area than previous. Quick removes sticky nades, flame nade, and remote detonation function. Mag size reduced to 6. Bonus ammo reserved on Catalyst changed for 50% reload speed. Chaperone is another shotgun with a long storied history in PvP. And they're going to try and get it in PvE now. Additional, the ability to trigger Roadborne on 2 rapid precision hits. Precision hits with Roadborne activates, also extends by 3 seconds. The ability, stability is plus 20, reloads plus 25 with that active and increased base ammo reserves. Lumina updated hipfire projectiles to behave more closely to support auto healing shots. And then this is just weapon perks for PvP, and I'm not going over that. Alright, this is going to be real quick. These are the new seasonal weapons coming with the new season. Hunt Scorn with new gear. Here's all the perks you can get. We went over them last week's TWAB. And then we have an update on weapon crafting. Just a whole bunch of bullshit that they already put out there. We have Gar Salvation. weapons, brand new perks and stuff coming as well. And even more, a whole bunch of seasonal weapons, it looks like, for the vendors. And then we have some more pursuits. Then we got Iron Banner armor. Looks very sexy. Can't wait for some new Iron Banner gear. Here are some of the stuffs from Iron Banner right there for the perks and whatnot. And we have a new update for the weapon, Cold Heart, new ornament. But that's pretty much it for the TWAB, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And remember, the giveaway is going on. We're at 450 subs. Once we hit 500, I'll be giving away 2 copies of the Final Shape plus the annual pass. Comment down below the Final Shape giveaway. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.